Enzo, thank you for letting Frank Warren.tv into the gym today and seeing you train. It truly is an awesome sight. To say you're ready for David Haye would be an understatement, no doubt. But in this gym with other world champions, the undisputed world champion Joe Calzaghe at super middleweight, how much does it really motivate you, not just to beat David Haye, but to become an undisputed champion yourself?
You know, the main thing is being an undisputed champion. You know, it just happens to be David Haye standing in my way. A couple of months ago, obviously, I seen Joe went through a cast. I seen the build up. You know, I seen all the press coverage. I seen the limelight. You know, and I wanted a bit of that. And now I got it, and you know, I really can't wait. I couldn't tell you. March 8 couldn't come quick enough for me.
I mean, we've seen you today, we've seen you work on tactics, on movement. We know David Haye can bang, we know he's got the strength, but we know also he comes in with that left hand held a little low. Is that something you're looking to exploit?
To be honest, we haven't really thought of a game plan. You know, I've seen boys with come into the ring with game plan A, game plan B, game plan C. None of them working knackered, you know, the rest of the fight. I'm an adaptive type fighter. I like to adapt on the night. David Haye, I'm sure we've got some tactics to fight against me. Actually, on the night, I'm more concerned in what I do rather than what he does.
I know that also you pride yourself on your stamina, and again, that's something that David Haye has been criticised about, his stamina. Do you think that's going to be an edge for you?
You know, like I said, I do my thing. You know, I've done my training right. I've probably trained harder for this already than I've had any other fight, and I simply do the fact of the motivation of the fight. You know, I've never been so motivated for anything in my life, and you know, training's been a joy. You know, every day, as hard as it seems and as hard as it looks, it's been great. It's just been hard, but you know, it's been great. So I know it's going to be something good come at the end of it.
I mean, you say it's been a joy. We've been here today and we've seen the camaraderie between all of you and the way that you train together. It's phenomenal. A gym this size, this tiny, in the middle of nowhere. You've got 3 world champions. You've got a Commonwealth champion in Bradley Price. How do you explain it? How do you explain this place throwing out the champions it does?
You know, a lot of got to go down to Enzo Maccarinelli. When I first went to Enzo, I basically thought he was just going to be a fitness trainer and you know, just getting me supremely fit. But he's got a marvellous boxing brain, and you know, he just makes us work to the limits that the mind I didn't think the mind thought was possible. But he just takes it on to that next level, and obviously we've got to have the talent here in the gym for him to do it. But you know, ultimately, I put it all down to him.
Let's go!
Just tell me, Enzo, what you've done today, the whole of the day, training-wise.
Today had been a 6-mile run this morning, 6 o'clock. Come up the gym here at 11. You've seen us do the steps outside, which is probably the worst part of the training. You know, that's basically a warm-up. He calls it 1,000 steps. It adds up, you know, obviously we sprint 1,000 steps. Then in the gym, a bit of shadow boxing, on a pads and a bag, and ultimately I think we've done 14 rounds altogether, and I just feel great. You know, I've had a couple of minutes now to recover from the last bit of bag work, but you know, I feel great, and like I said, I know at the end of it something good's going to come out of it.
And just finding, you know, the next 4 weeks as you go along until fight night, how does it work? Does your training intensify a little bit, or is it going to taper off a tiny bit? How does it work for you?
To be honest, I don't think Enzo believes in tapering off. You know, I'll train right up until the fight, and I'll probably have the Thursday and the Friday off if I'm lucky. But you know, but that's the way you've always done it. That's the way I've always done it since I've been at this gym. You know, it works for me. It might not work for other people, but you know, that's the way we do. And as for the next 4 weeks, it's just going to be pure hell in there. You know, he's going to push me to the limits which you didn't think was possible.
How much trouble is David Haye in?
He's in a lot of trouble. I think he's underestimating me. I think a lot of people are underestimating me. They're criticising my chin, they're criticising my boxing ability, criticising my strength. You know, he's going to be probably stone heavy me come fight night. You know, that's not going to make a difference to me. You know, he's in for a shock on March 8th. I am going to be the complete package on March 8th.